Hi guys, welcome to KMRD Radio Stuff. My name is Mike. If you're new to the channel or you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You'll really be happy if you did. I don't know. Guys, I am at ABR Industries, makers of some amazing coaxial cable, right here in Houston, Texas. I'm with Chuck and Shannon, and these guys are going to tell us all about the amazing coax they carry. And Shannon, you're actually the owner, are you not?
I am, yes sir.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I have been the president and owner of ABR Industries for many years. It all kind of blends together. But we did get WBE and WOSB certified back 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, I believe. So we are also, in addition to being a supplier of high quality American-made products, we do hit that supplier diversity angle as well. I know I'm probably few and far between as a women-owned business owner of cable, but hey, I like to stand out a little when
great.
I can.
I love it. And Chuck, you...
I am the technical partner here at ABR Industries. I'm the engineer,
Okay.
so I'm the guy that you call if you have technical questions or need some assistance. I will bore you to death, probably.
So if you're angry, we call you. If you're happy, we call you.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yep. I'll handle all your QA as well. Not to worry about that too. So yeah, we're definitely, like I said, diverse family of business, but yeah, we pretty much, I guess we've done really well over the last 3 decades as far as what we've been in. So
You've got a fantastic name in the amateur business. There's if you just look up your reviews on Google Maps, there's literally nothing but amazing things to say that folks have said about you guys. So I'm excited to come down here and meet you guys. I'm embarrassed it's taken so long for me to get down here, being that I live here. So I'm glad to be here. And Chuck, you're going to show us around and kind of tell us what you got and show us your wares and all that?
Yep, and focus on the popular stuff for the hams and really kind of just give the ability to say, I'm working on X application, what cable do I need?
Great.
So we'll do that.
Well, let's have at it.
All right. So wanted to go through the core products for the amateur market with ABR Industries. We've got 5 distinct cables to show you. So the first is working through with most people when they get started, you get an HT. You want something that's lightweight and easy to use with that HT in order to make a jumper from the handheld to either an antenna that you have in a car or something else, is the 316 product. 316, it being a Teflon product, is nice because it is very difficult to crush. It is a silver center and silver braided product, so it's nice as far as the conductivity. It's a lower loss PTFE. And the nice thing about it is we can build it in a number of different styles. Everything you can see here from SMA to UHF connectors. So, and as a stranded center, you don't have any issues with it kinking or anything else happening. So that's the first product. You can also use it for the QRP products, QRP. Usually we recommend anywhere from about 25 to 35 feet. At that point, you want to probably upgrade to a little bit bigger cable. We know portability is key, but weight and performance also are things we'll just talk through and take a look at. The next product is one of our key products. This is a high volume mover, which is our 240 Ultraflex. And what makes it unique is that RG8X was a mainstay for a number of years, but as a staple product, it was limited as far as what we could do as far as insertion loss and other things. So essentially what we did was we took this and had this completely redesigned. We installed everything from doing tin copper center conductors for easier solderability, and we put a foil and a braid on the cable itself so that the shield effectiveness is much greater. So the nice thing about this product is it's a lightweight product that you're used to for using in the vehicle. It's a heavier grade shield, so if you have automotive noise coming from the battery or something else, this will help reduce some of that. And then as far as the flexibility goes, it's an 1.5 inch bend radius. It's a low loss cable, so you can use it for longer runs. You can use it up to 50 to 100 feet, depending on if it's VHF or HF. And then the other beauty of this product is because of the way it's designed, you can really it's UV direct burial if you want to. So a lot of different things that can be done with this. It's a versatile cable, can be used for patch cords inside the shack, going from different pieces of equipment as well. It can be used as your main feeder if you wanted to as well, getting started out. And it's versatile where you can use it for other places as well. test benches. The next item is probably one of our more classic items, which is our 213, which is this product here. So 213, the reason why we really offer it is it's still an HF workhorse from what we call it, with a 7-strand center conductor and a 95% braid. The nice thing about using 213 is it can take a lot of heat and it can dissipate that heat very quickly. So people working with amplifiers, working in temperature extremes, dealing with different environments that are coming in, or just prefer a mill spec, truly mill grade product, that's what our 213 product is there for. Still definitely a very popular one. Everything is actually UV resistant and direct barrel. It's a great question. That's kind of a mainstay with all of our products. And the nice thing there is that people then don't have to worry about making a choice of one product versus another, even though it can be the same type of, let's say, 213 or 400 or 240 product, and having different flavors of jacketing or different braid counts. Everything is pretty much made to a standard where everything, like I said, is UV resistant, direct burial, everything is a foil, and then 95% tin copper braids, with the exception of the 213. It's actually a 97% because we still sell a lot of it to the government as well.
Is the 316 foil and braid as well?
The 316 doesn't have a foil in there,
Okay.
just due to its size. The 100 doesn't either. It's because putting a foil in there can be very difficult with such a small size center conductor.
Okay.
So what we like about the 316 over the 100 a little bit is, even though we tin the braid on the 100 material, 316 has a silver braid. So silver conductivity is better, and with the PTFE, if you put it into a door jamb, window jamb, step on it, it's harder to crush that material.
Okay.
Now we will still sell the 100 material because some customers just like it, and they like the PVC. PVC is nice in the sense that it doesn't have as much of a memory to it. So that's one benefit of using sometimes PVC, is that the bends and twists are a little bit easier to stabilize, a little faster, and a little less frustration. Teflon does have a curved memory coming on and off the coils.
Okay.
The next product is our 400 Flex product, another big mainstay in the amateur community. A nice high 19-strand center conductor. Now that's unique because a lot of the standard products you'll see out there is a 7-strand center, and believe it or not, this has a 2-inch bend radius.
Wow.
So from a twisting and turning standpoint, for rotors, really tough installations, something that has to be put in through small crawl spaces and stuff like that, this product really makes it very easy from an installation standpoint. Still, like I said, with a copper center conductor, so it's easy to solder to. A low loss gas injected foam, which is similar to what's on the 240 as well, and the 600 material. And then it's got the 95% braid as well as the 100% foil as well. Now, one of the things on the foil that I didn't mention on the earlier one was that all stranded types have a little bit different bonded foil, in the sense of it's wrapped into place, and then it's got a Mylar backing on it, so that it's designed to flex and twist where the foils won't crack, because sometimes that's a question people ask. How rigid would the foil have to be, or is there an issue with that? So we actually do something a little different, where we don't actually apply the same type of adhesive, and we do a special overlay on the wrap, which increases the percentage of the wrap, but it allows it to twist and turn because it's not going to move once it's buried in the jacket too much, but we also don't want the microfractures in there over time. The solid centers, we actually use a glue when we apply the foil on there, just for people. Makes it harder to take off, so a little denatured alcohol is always good. You can swipe it right on there, it dries real quick, and then you can peel right back the foil. Because sometimes with the hardest part for people is when it comes to taking the foil off, because the foil can be so close to the center conductor or the way it's cut, it can accidentally short out or change the performance just slightly. So just little bits and tricks to help people out.
Yeah.
And then our last one that's the popular one for the amateur market is the 600 material. 600 comes in a solid as well as a stranded type. It really is the solid that is probably the bigger mover by far than the stranded. Stranding is all copper center conductor, as well as our other stranded types. What happens there is that because of the weight of the copper, it makes it an extraordinarily expensive product in comparison to using a copper-coated aluminum, with the bigger that you get. The nice thing about this is that for a lot of hams that are looking for something extremely low loss, HF runs typically above 200 feet. People that are using it for VHF, UHF when they're running it as a main trunking line, or they're running 1.2 gig now or higher frequencies, 600 really becomes a phenomenal product as well. Same 95% braid. It is a copper-coated aluminum on this version, just to give you an idea what the centers look like on a solid, and then 100% foil, and it's bonded to the product itself. Still a UV-resistant jacket, still direct burial, so definitely makes a big, big difference out there in the marketplace. This is one of our tooling centers that we have. We got two different types. We've got the one here that you're going to see for the smaller cables, so this is for the 240 and smaller, 1/4 inch or below. And what we're doing here right now is we're running the 240 Ultraflex through, and we're coiling a 50-foot length. This machine will be laser guided, so there's a little dot there that tells us the machine is properly calibrated as it processes through and strips the ends for the PL-259. It's a blade action instead of a rotary cut on this version. And so what it does is it aligns everything into place. After it's done cutting and stripping, it rolls into the pan head feeder, and then from there we use an elastomer tie instead of cable ties, which could technically cut into the jacket over periods of time and stays a little bit longer. So that's kind of the process that we're running here today on this piece. Everything is completely automated, as you see, from the pull-off, which is an automated piece, to going through the machine itself. And the counter is all self-actuating, so that means that it realigns itself based on footage continuously. And then, like I said, the pan head spooler. Our new version of this machine is this beauty sitting right over here real quick. We're just gonna give everybody a quick update that it's gonna be set up for the 400 size, so the 1/2 inch material here in about 3 or 4 weeks. We'll have everything all rocking and rolling on that too. Outside of that, then, what we have is the traditional cable spooler. So the old way of doing this, and I just say old because the technology's been around forever, is taking a product and just rolling a manual head spooler through. And everything is completely programmed through a laptop. We put all the stripping dimensions, set the cable length, set the sizing, the whole 9 yards, program it right into the machines, and let it ride. So now I'm going to show you the little brother to these workstations, which is the stripping tools, which we have on the other side. What we're showing here is our tabletop stripping machines. We got 2 different versions of it. This is our newer version, which is actually designed to handle smaller cables. It's a 3-blade rotary cutter. It's designed to do in the neighborhood of around a million feet before it'll have to go in for servicing. But the blades are a titanium coated blade. They're laser sharpened, and then they're placed into the tooling that rotary cuts it, usually in the neighborhood of around 4,000 RPM. So it's designed for everything up to the 400 size cables. So from there, we actually use a kind of a drill cutter from that for the larger size cables. This is just our older machine, same version of kind of the concept of a rotary cutter. It's actually stronger, so it actually has a higher horsepower motor that we have installed in this. And the reason being is running 400 solid or 213, because the material is so tough to cut, it's actually got a 3.5 horsepower motor in it instead of a 2.5 horse motor, so that it's designed to handle those cuts very evenly and not have any of the fraying or breaking any of the blades or anything like that. So this is one of our 2 smaller crimpers that we have. They're pneumatic presses. They do about 100-pound crimp. They can go much higher as far as the poundage goes, but we do it typically within the IEEE requirements for crimping guidelines. And what you'll see here is she's crimping on a number of reverse polarity connectors for our wireless RFID people and Wi-Fi. But the crimping piece that we have in today is specifically designed. It is actually stainless steel so that it doesn't wear down prematurely. So the nice thing about this crimping head is that we can usually get about 200,000 crimps on the die set that's in there before we have to change it out. So believe it or not, we're actually changing out the die set roughly every 3 to 4 months, just to give you kind of a number as far as volumes that can go through this. And we have a number of different varieties for the different size cables. Right now she's working on the 195 size with the crimping that you see here. Just one more quick comment. As you notice, when she was going through the crimping action, she was crimping it twice. And the reason being is because of the design of the ferrules themselves. You want to get as effective as a crimp as possible. So the first crimp is to make sure that the braid is adhering to the back end of the connector itself. The second crimp is to smooth it out so that when we apply the tubing later on, it's a nice even flow of the tubing, so there's no water or anything else gets in there. Plus adds a little bit of extra strength because we've crimped the ferrule throughout. So what we're doing here is we're installing the PL-259 on the 400 UltraFlex product. The process goes through is that we put a marker label on there to tell us the product, date code, what type of connectors are on there. This will be the shrink tubing. It's an adhesive lined tubing that we'll put on the ends there when we're finished. But right now she's sitting there and everything is stripped down, so she's taking off all the components from the stripping and soldering the center pin in there. We use a non-lead based ESD protected solder, so it's safe, it's chemically not corrosive. We use a flux when we apply that onto it. It helps the conductivity and creates enough of a wetting action. Even though there's a little bit of flux in the solder itself, primarily the extra flux in a liquid form definitely takes care of anything off as far as impurities, cleans everything, and then allows to have the best bond that we can for this. So we follow the 602 guidelines by the Wire Manufacturing Association. It allows us to do some training, but also gives us the ability to follow pretty good guidelines to ensure the best solder joints that we can provide. So
Now I noticed she was just testing. Is this your continuity?
This is just a quick continuity test for it. And the reason being is the RF testing itself goes on in the back stages over by the office area, but it's just a quick check to make sure as a final piece. Also make sure that the product is going to connect correctly to it. So if we have too much solder, the center pin doesn't fit, we've already caught it, we've quarantined it and stuff off to the side. You know, any other little errors can be caught right away as one just final check to make sure. We do carry a pretty good inventory of connectors, more than just your standard PL-259s. We carry a lot of different adapters that are available, everything from TNC to FME grades. Everything is sealed, sorry. We don't usually take them out so they don't corrode or tarnish over time. Everything from BNC, N types, you name it, everything across the board from all the different sizes.
And customers can order basically any kind of connector they want.
Yeah,
right?
you can order just about anything. There's a builder tool that's right on the system. There's also for the commercial customers a builder as well.
This is on the website?
This is all on the website.
Okay.
So it's everything going from, like I said, the PLs, but there's also Ns, SMAs, SMBs, MMCXs, 716s. There's a wide variety of the DINs actually, the 1.0 to the 4.3s, you name it commercially, we have that listed on there as well. And it's all coordinated right to the cable itself, so you don't have to guess. If you want to do a special connector and you see it that's buried in the cable and you're not sure, there is actually a quoting tool you can go right into and send it off. We usually turn around the proposals in generally about somewhere in the neighborhood about 3 to 4 hours. So most people, if it's alphabet soup, we'll help you figure it out. Just send it on over. We'll include pictures, we'll walk you through it. Everybody's got to learn somewhere, and there are just so many different connectors and so many changes. The mini UHFs are becoming much more popular. The QRP crowd seems to gather onto that one. The BNCs have got a lot of resurgence now. We sell BNCs a lot to the videos side of the business in bundles and harnesses and for video hookups for the RGB and stuff like that. But now that the amateur community has kind of re-embraced the BNC connector, those have become extremely popular. N-types, PLs are still very, very popular. You know, one of the things that we always like to see is a lot of diversity. If you have an older system that still has RCA connectors for your old transmitter, we can put the RCA on there. We can do it as an adapter to your current feed line. We can build you a feed line directly with that connector right on there. We can bundle pieces together too. So we can bundle a control cable for a amplifier hookup, as well as the short jumper feed line that you have in there, so it looks nice and clean. For a lot of our customers, identification of the products are the most important thing. Field day, you lose cables. You got a lot of friends out there, you're all your buddies, but unfortunately at the end of the thing, everything gets done, people are tired, and whose cable went for what, right? So we do a lot of custom cable marking for customers as well as labeling it for identification purposes. We're doing one for Mike, which is going to use his call sign on there and show the cable type that we're labeling for him. And the reason why we do this is that not only is it from a peace of mind standpoint, but as you're using cables, if you hook it to a particular system, this is for VHF, this is for HF, this is for UHF. Not only is it helpful when you have it in the home, because if you move your shack around, disconnect something, clean something up, you then know which cable's coming into which port or how it's coming into the home, that type of thing. So it takes the guesswork out for you as your system grows or as you move things, develop things, stuff like that too. So in this machine, it allows us to apply the name and information. It allows us to put different levels of information into there. So we always put a lot code in there so we know when the product was created, different connector types, and then a brief description of the cable itself. In a lot of cases, we can also just put a call, we can put phone numbers on there, we can put other text in there as well. The beauty of this system is it's continuously spooled, so it just keeps printing out as many different types of labels that we need in whatever configuration that we program into it. So we just run it into print, setting up the print settings, and then from there we just apply the printing, and it goes through and it puts all the labels together. Inventory is probably the most critical thing with everything going on. A lot of people that were affected by COVID and now with struggling to get different materials in, because we're a US-based manufacturer and we work with US mills, we really didn't have that big of a struggle. We had to fly in some of our connectors to keep our inventory levels, but as far as the cables go, nothing really stopped for us. We did COVID protocols, but if somebody said, hey, what does a 250,000 feet of 400 flex look like? That's what a 250,000 feet of just flex looks like, just off of the one row over here. But we carry everything in stock, so we have the 400 flex, the 400 solid, we have the 8X replacement, the 240 Ultra Flex that I was talking about. We also carry, like commercially, for 195, 240 in the solid as well, the 400 material in solid. Also, just a little bit is some of the specialty cables that we actually have. For example, this is one that's very popular as far as plenum goes. So for hospital applications, places where they can't run it through a traditional chase, a plenum grade cable jacketing is needed. So we carry that item here. We also carry the products in white for different applications. Primarily this goes more for medical than anything else, but we actually do use it for marine as well. So if you have a boat, we do have a 195 Ultra Flex for your boat, so you can ham it up on the boat. And we also carry a number of different multi-conductors. So realistically, our inventory is usually pretty well stocked. We got enough stuff to keep things moving through with minimal disruption. So biggest challenge today is just how much do you need and how soon do you need it? So we're happy to help with that.
So there you have it. Now you know the ins and outs of ABR Industries. We're going to get some kind of coupon code going for you. It'll probably just be my call sign, K8MRD, so you can order direct from ABR Industries. And I've also spoken with Gigaparts. We're going to work on getting a code for you there. And I believe you're also distributed at Ham Radio Outlet, yes?
Yes, that's
okay.
correct.
So I don't know anyone at HRO, so you can still buy it there, but you won't get a discount, I guess. So anyway, guys, thanks so much, Chuck. I appreciate the tour. Shannon, thank you so much.
As always.
Fantastic hospitality. I literally just called here. They had no idea who I was, and I just wanted to come down and see if I could shoot, and they were just, yeah, come on down. So great people to meet, great people to work with. Literally just welcomed me with open arms, and they even have a cat here, so that's another good thing about them. All right, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at K8MRD, and we'll see you again on another episode of K8MRD Radio Stuff. 73, guys.